Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shadows of Khadesa. We are jumping back into chapter 4 now of our adventure. To start us off, I am going to turn everything over to our players to introduce themselves.
I am Brittany, and I'm playing Kyrie.
Hi, I'm Denver. I'm going to be playing Tonic.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm playing Asoya.
Hi, I'm Miles, and I'll be playing Quinn.
Hi, I'm Sudi, and I will be playing Shimo.
And I am Erin, your host and dungeon master. Welcome back to Khadesa. Last we left off, some of our adventurers focused in the inner portions of the city had a little bit of a conflict with a very mysterious dark entity. As the night falls, these shadows abating, chased off by some sort of flash of bright light. The council of speakers beginning to collect themselves. The rain still pouring down over Khadesa. We return more to the outer portions, away from the temples, away from the academy, away from the library, out to the streets once more, where standing in the rain, having heard the sound of beating drums off in the distance, Gwyn, you've been following a new little friend, the small nightingale that had found you at your father's funeral and has kind of been guiding you through the city streets. As this bird stops, glancing up at the sound of the drums coming from the center of town, it looks to you with a little bit more purpose and continues to guide you down the street, hopping from building to building, stopping, turning, waiting for you to catch up.
I don't know if you can understand me, but where exactly are we going?
Kind of just hops, flies to the next roof, waits.
Okay.
As you follow through the rain, this bird guides you through the darkened city streets, with the sound of the drums beating in the distance, getting fainter as you move further from the center of town. There are a number of lanterns, candles, things like that being lit within homes, people coming to their windows, looking outside in kind of nervous sort of curiosity, trying to see what's going on. The sound of marching feet, armored soldiers in the center of town kind of dies away as you move very much towards the outskirts of town, towards the sort of southwest portion of the city of Khadesa, near the city walls. As the bird kind of runs out of buildings to stand on, flies over to a section of the wall where it kind of taps its beak on the wall and then looks at you and tilts its head.
He approaches the wall. Is there anything worth noting about the wall? Like,
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Investigation, okay. That is a big whopping +0, so let's see. Oh, 18.
Okay. You notice that very intricately carved into this stone wall are a number of symbols of various birds kind of sitting on a tree. It's very like a little nice carving that you see. And you see like a little bit of a crack running around this portion of the door as this little nightingale kind of begins to sing this little chirping song. Just a couple of notes, very short and sweet. A moment later, there's the sound of grinding stone as this piece of wall is kind of like pulled away, revealing a small little sort of like a doorway leading outside of the city, away from any of the main gates, and it leads directly into part of this jungle territory. Just outside the wall are growing very colorful, vibrant green plants. Currently, many of them contain flowers this time of year. The thick jungle canopy overhead provides a little bit of cover from the heavy rain as the bird kind of rustles its feathers, tries to shake off the water, and then starts kind of just hopping through this little opening in the walls.
Secret door. Okay. Follows through.
Okay. As you step through to the other side, you hear the sound of stone being kind of shoved back into place. And there, just behind you, where you previously couldn't see until you had entered through this little space in the wall, is a man, middle-aged, appears human, pale skin, long black hair, part of it hanging down, the front part's kind of like pulled back, a little bun on the top, decorated with a small little silver hairpiece, wearing very colorful, ornate silk robes, little strips of blues and reds and greens, just very vibrantly colored, long draping sleeves, as he glances towards you, but then turns his attention to the little bird that you've been following, holds out a hand to this little bird as this bird kind of hops onto his hand, and then looks back at you as it kind of settles into this man's hand. The man looks down at this little new friend of yours, turns to you, Quinn. Oh, I see you have found one of my messengers.
Messengers.
Yes, I have many through the city. Messengers, spies even, depending on how you would like to look at things. If my little friend here has brought you to me, I can only presume that you are one of the few that still bears the birthright of magic in this city.
He kind of looks around a bit. Yeah. It appears that way.
Good.
It's a little weird being worth the time of being spied on, I guess.
Oh, don't flatter yourself too much. They're bored these days. Follow me. As he starts to walk into the dense jungle just outside of the city, you can still hear the faint sound of drums in the distance, now being washed away by the sound of heavy rain on the leaves overhead.
Do you have a name?
Many names, as a matter of fact. But if you are looking for something to call me, you can simply call me Santi.
Santi?
Yes.
Okay. I don't suppose you know my name already, then, if I was sent here?
He looks to the bird, kind of does a little sing-song note. Well, what would you like to be called?
Quinvin, either one.
Very well. Sounds a little bit nicer than, Little Lost Boy. And he looks back at the bird.
I'm 24.
He chuckles. Well, young still, then. As he kind of leads you through this dense portion of jungle, kind of deeper. You walk for about 5 minutes. The trees very thick around you, largely undisturbed. You reach kind of a little bit of a larger tree in the center. The rain kind of trickles through portions here. There's a small pond that is formed near the base of this tree, only about 3 feet wide, very well lined with stones on the outside. A couple of other birds are perched on the stones, kind of drinking out of this pond. You hear a number of other birds as this man approaches, kind of fly down from their various branches and parts of the trees, as if to greet him, as you see a number of many nightingales, other larger tropical birds as well, kind of gathering, glancing at you, glancing at this new man, Santhi, that you've encountered. The nightingale flies back up to the tree, kind of chatters with some of the other birds as Santhi looks around. Well, this is a bit of a sanctuary. Most people don't know how to access it from the city. Occasionally people stumble across it by chance, but for the most part, I let magic disguise the entryway, and I come here to be with friends. As he looks up at the birds in the trees, I find them to be far more reasonable than most people.
Yeah, that's the impression that I got.
And unlike most people, they are more in tune with the magic of the world than most. You have certain abilities. Ones that you have never been able to, I suppose, hone would be the correct word for it.
Yeah, not a lot of room to practice in a small house.
No, and not a lot of teachers left who still practice the old ways of magic.
I don't suppose you're one of these teachers?
I could be.
Okay.
He kind of watches you as the thoughts are turning in your head. You see like a little bit of a smile of almost something of amusement mixed with this kind of almost protective nature. If you are looking for a teacher, that is, not everybody is.
I don't really know the first thing about what I can do. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes I try something and it doesn't work. It's weird.
He gives a nod. You are not the only one. Many practitioners now of magic are students of the art. Few are born with it these days, have this innate ability, and there are a few people left to teach them how to channel it, to grow it, to guide it. I could do that to help you. That is something of what I have taken to doing in these later years. I don't know how much you know about magic in Khadesa, but it's growing weaker, and fewer and fewer in each generation are born with the sort of gifts, talents, whatever you choose to call it, that you have been born with, and the few that are left, I would like to see that some proper guidance is given.
Well, I made it this far.
Well, you are at least impressionable enough to follow my little friend here.
Yeah, I didn't give that much thought. Might have
It's a
been
good
carried
thing.
off by a bird.
Most of the birds are harmless. I don't think he could carry you off if he wanted to.
Kind of look at him.
This bird kind of flies down from the branches of the trees, lands on your shoulder again. He seems to have taken a liking to you. Perhaps you ought to give him a proper name. Not immediately, think on it. But, names have power. They are sort of a guiding factor. There are names we are given, names we take for ourselves, and they can mean a lot. And your little friend here, our little friend, seems to see something in you, and if he trusts you, I trust you, and that is all I need.
All right, then. He kind of gives the bird a little scritch.
The feathers kind of rustle as this bird sings a couple of just gentle notes. This man looks back to the city. Quite the commotion going on tonight.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on over there. Would he know what, like, the drums and all that means?
Yes, having grown up in Khadesa, you definitely know that the drums are sort of either like a summoning of the guard. They're usually not a good thing, and it has been probably over a decade since they were last heard.
Oof. Oh. I'm glad I'm not in there then.
Oh, me too. I'm sure I will have to answer to somebody about that eventually.
Huh. Well,
Well,
okay.
I am sure you have had a long day.
Oh, very.
Training can wait. But come, I want to show you something. And he goes over to this little pond of water, the little stones laid out around it. Some of these birds still nestled on the stones as he kind of kneels down near the pond, looking at the water surface. He runs a finger through it, kind of in a back and forth motion, creating a series of ripples across the surface of the pond. The birds that are gathered around the edge lean over, looking in, their distorted reflections looking back at them. As he kind of moves his hand over the surface of the water, the entire surface of the water itself begins to give off a little bit of a glow. And you can see in it an image, almost as if you were hovering above the center of Khadesa. And you see, looking down in this pond, what you recognize to be kind of the central temple within Khadesa, as well as just off to the side of it, the library and the academy kind of in this walled off area. And you see very much this weird inky shadow spread across them. As he looks down, the hard lines kind of forming on his face as he frowns deeply. Well, that is very interesting indeed.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Worth a shot.
But I do believe that is why the drums are sounding, and I'm going to stay away from that.
I think I will too. That doesn't look safe at all.
Oh, no. Keeps running his finger through the water. The image of the center of town begins to fade as the image is replaced with what looks like inside of a building. There are very elegantly painted walls in a rounded room, these stone archways kind of bordering all sides of this rounded area. In the inside of this building, a room, or whatever it is a large pool of water with a single tree growing out of the center. Inside, near this tree, you see a single individual dressed in red robes, wearing this kind of golden filigree mask with almost this like crown style motif coming off the top of it. Well, I trust the Oracle will take care of things. He kind of taps the surface of the water, and this image fades away. He stands up. This is how I keep track of what is going on in the city.
Seems very convenient.
Oh,
It'd
it
be a nice
is.
thing to have.
It took me many years to perfect the same technique used within the inner sanctum of the temple, but I have finally figured it out, and I can see just about anything now within the city that I have seen before, at least, which is quite a bit of the city.
Yeah, that's a lot of ground to cover. I have so many questions, but I don't know where to start.
Oh, don't worry, I can see quite a few of them on your face right now.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should start with the proper introductions. I am probably better known by many in the city as one of what you would call the speakers, but let's just keep that between you and me. This face is one that I like to avoid attention with.
Oh man. Oh. Do I? He
dear.
kind of he looks over to the bird. Do I bow?
The bird just looks back at you.
He does a quick bow.
That's really not necessary.
Okay.
I think I just created more questions than I answered.
A little bit.
I'm not really good at the people thing. That's really why I spend my time out here. Don't get me wrong. I'm very honored by the title that I hold. I do take my responsibilities very seriously, but I'm just not great at the word thing.
I get that. I understand that.
Oh, good. But the birds are much more eloquent than I am. I just wish most of the people in the city spoke their language. It would make things much easier.
It really would be.
But the birds have told me that there are strange things going on in the city, out of the city. He kind of turns up to the tree, gives a little bit of a whistle. A very colorful parrot flies down from the trees. Bright green and blue feathers lands on the shoulder of this man. This little fellow saw a strange, what he described as a sky monster not long ago out over the ocean.
What's going on today? Weird shadows, sky monsters, birds, speakers.
Well, I was going to say that, tomorrow is the fourth day of the fourth month, which is generally a day of ill tidings, and, well, perhaps it's just getting an early start. Or I have my days mixed up. Could be that, too.
It happens to me sometimes. It's alright.
Oh.
Happens a lot when you spend a lot of days indoors. Years,
We're
really.
outdoors.
Yeah.
Time is kind of a fickle thing, in my opinion. Anyway, I've never really understood the whole routine thing. I'm much more of a go where the wind calls me sort of a person.
And I guess I'm more of a go where the bird takes me type of person. That's it's shown from the past hour or so.
The bird on your shoulder gives a little bit of a nod. Kind of just bobbing his head. A little bit of a sing-song tone. As this man kind of scratches his chin, glances around. Well, pretty dreadful weather today. Why don't you come catch me up on well, anything you know about magic, and we'll start from there, and perhaps I can teach you a few just little things. We'll start small.
That would be great, as long as I don't burn my hands like last time. That was a little...
Oh,
At least it's raining, just in case.
Why don't we sit by the pond, just in case?
That could work.
Yes. Some people I know do the thing where they move water and create water and make it do. That is not me. If you catch on fire, I might only make it worse.
Oh. I might have gotten things a little mixed up. I do a lot of lightning stuff. Maybe not the best. Maybe not around water.
He looks around. Do you do anything that doesn't involve potentially setting yourself on fire and potentially me on fire?
I don't have any. As far as I can tell, no fire. If you have a raw fish, I could probably hold on to it and cook it, maybe. I don't know. I tried that once. It exploded in my face. It was not ideal.
Thinks about it for a second. Come with me. I know where to fish. As he starts just walking away.
He just... Okay, then. Follows.
As you follow him deeper into the jungle, back within the walls of Khadesa, in a little restaurant shop, having just lost yet another game of mahjong as the drums begin to beat outside. Tonic, you find yourself in this little shop. Some of the few people left behind, going to the window, trying to peer outside. This aging woman kind of shuffles up, looks outside. Oh, what's going on, do you suppose? You see her place her hands up to the window, trying to squint out into the darkness. Awful late for the sound of drums. I haven't heard that noise in many a year.
Does it signify something?
Usually nothing good. Last time it was bandits.
Ah. How long ago was last time?
I don't know, 5 years ago. And her husband yells from the back room, more like 12. Oh, a while ago.
I'm not in a position to judge your perception of time, as I seem to have lost my own.
Oh, well, do you remember how you got here?
It's vague and broken. I remember some friends and a wagon, but mostly nothing.
I mean, I have days like that too, but, well, um, I'm, I don't mean to be rude, but what exactly are you? You're not, I mean, a couple of hours ago, I was putting incense in your lap because I thought you were a statue, and now you're here in my kitchen speaking to me, and...
I appear to be something of a statue, but though I cannot recall, I feel as though I was made for a purpose. I would like to determine what that is.
Well, I have no idea how to go about doing that.
Fair enough. I have a sense that I was made to help people in some way.
Oh, like, are you a soldier, or, and you hear the voice in the back room, he can start by helping with the dishes! Ignore him, dearie.
Perhaps I came with bottles and salves and tonics, and that journal, if it is mine, perhaps I was helping with some kind of healing. And I kind of look at my hands and arms. But I have this armor also. Soldier, perhaps not, but maybe some sort of defender?
Perhaps we should take you to the physician in the morning. Maybe he would know where you came from, what all this stuff in your bag is.
That sounds likely. At least the things in the bag.
That might be a good place to start. I wouldn't go outside right now. I have no idea what's going on out there. Sounds scary.
Yes. I don't know that I fear in the way that regular people might. My life is new. I am uncertain as of yet what could happen to me, or should I try to help? Should I try to help now if there is danger?
Oh, I certainly can't stop you, but you didn't even know your own name. Are you sure you're going to be of much assistance right now?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Well, I suppose we just here, and she gives a little bit of a nervous look out the window.
I can stay and defend here if you need help. You've been taking care of me.
I mean, we would appreciate it. I don't really know what's going on out there, but it all sounds a bit scary.
Is there a way onto your roof? Perhaps I could get a better vantage.
Sure. There's you could probably climb up the crates around back.
I will try that and come back to you with what I see.
Be careful.
I will try. So I kind of stand up abruptly, because that's how I do it, and then I like look around and just like run straight out the door, and like kind of scan back and forth, and then run to where I think she was pointing me.
The movements of this form that you're in feel foreign as you're still trying to adjust to moving and being. You work your way out in the rain around this little shop at home. And you can see a number of like empty wooden crates that are kind of stacked up along the back wall, and things that are used to normally transport like vegetables and spices and things like that. You can very easily kind of move things around to kind of climb up onto the rooftop. As you do so, you look out across the city of Khadesa, a place that feels so new and just unrecognizable to you. You're not sure how you got here. You're not sure if you've ever seen this city before. The little stacked together homes in the areas immediately surrounding you, the larger kind of grand buildings that you see off in the distance, currently covered with kind of this blanket of like an inky black smoke that seems to be drifting out of like the windows and these upper floors to spill out into the ground below. You see people in the streets, in near buildings, just adjacent to where you are, nervously watching, looking onward, some cowering back into their homes. Very much this feeling of tension and things like that in the air around you.
Does there seem to be, are people just kind of wary, or is there like outright panic?
Go ahead and just make me an insight check, if you will.
Okay. 18.
Okay. There are definitely mixed responses that you were getting. Some people are kind of just watching, almost with like a curiosity, as if this is something that they haven't seen before. It seems to be contained away from them. And there are definitely people who look like they're about ready to run at the slightest indication that this thing is moving towards them at all. You see a woman a few houses down from where you stand on the roof, kind of gathering her children back inside, trying to keep them inside as this little boy is trying to like peek over her shoulder, look at what's going on. Definitely a mix of just fear and awe and rising panic and suspicion, all kind of rolled together.
Does it seem like the darkness is moving in a direction, or just like spreading out, like it's going to take over the whole city?
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. 13.
Okay. As you kind of look off at these larger buildings off in the distance, there is one in particular kind of off to what would be like your left-hand side, that these like tendrils of smoke seem to be moving towards or being pulled towards. You can't really tell which it is, but they seem to be kind of coalescing on a singular building.
Okay, I think with that I'll climb back down and go report back.
Okay. As you climb back down, the rooftops start to circle around. All of the sudden, there is a bright flash of light that kind of just spreads and emanates through the city. It's gone in just an instant, almost like a flash of lightning, but with no thunder to follow.
Unusual. How
You
far
hear,
away?
you're not really sure what the source is. It kind of spreads through the whole city. You hear from inside the building. Dominic, is that you?
Yes, there was a light. Well, more importantly, there's some sort of living shadow. I do not know what is the usual for this area, but it seems unnatural.
There's a shuffling noise as this woman comes to the door and throws it open, looking pretty relieved to hear your voice. Oh, I thought you were like allergic to rain or something and exploded. I saw the flash of light and I got worried.
Not so far. Hopefully that will not pass.
Oh, good. What were you saying about shadows? I missed that whole second part.
Sort of living shadows, tentacles of shadow. They they appear unnatural. They're converging on the large building that way.
I do not like the sound of any of that.
No, decidedly not good.
I'm going back inside.
Okay, that seems like perhaps for the best. Shutter the windows, maybe?
Oh, good idea. Good idea. She takes to kind of closing the shutters and curtains in the window, pulls the little lantern on the table, kind of sits down to wait.
Does it seem like I would be able to go at all in a direction where the light came from to try to get a better idea or to try to find the source? Or is it
You can
too...
definitely go searching.
Okay. So I'm just gonna call back in. Ciao. I want to see if I can get a better look, but I'll try not to get too far, and if it seems that the shadows come this way, I will come back to help you.
Be safe.
I will try. And so I take off running down towards wherever I thought I thought the source was.
Okay. You start heading. The light seemed like it had come from behind you as you were walking back into the house, presumably from at least the similar direction as where you saw these large buildings off in the distance. You start making your way through the streets towards them. And as you get a little closer, you notice that those weird shadows that you had previously seen seem to be gone. There's no sign of them. The buildings stand normal, just peacefully sitting there. You notice that as you approach the center of town, there's kind of a small river that courses through town, several stone bridges that arch over it, leading to these grounds of these larger buildings. As you kind of make your way across one of them, there are a number of people out here. Many dressed in armor, some dressed in like monk robes, carrying staves or pole arms, and are running about. Some appear to be injured, some appear to just be like stunned or in shock, kind of trying to process something that has just happened. As you see a number of people kind of moving to this building that is on your left-hand side, this larger kind of, it's very, very colorful, very ornate, very lush-looking gardens outside. Definitely draws the eye.
As I see more and more people, I think I kind of instinctively get a little bit nervous. Do I have my cloak, or can I dig through my bag and see if it is in there?
You probably have your cloak.
Okay, so I just kind of make sure my hood is up and move a little bit. Like, I still move a little odd, like a little jerky, but I slow enough to not seem suspicious, but I think I can probably still be kind of jogging because people are in chaos. I will move closer to the large building to see if I can determine anything else.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a perception check again.
Ooh, 7.
This is really the first time you can remember being around so many people and just the sounds and the just the people running back and forth, the rain on you, everything just feels like a lot right now. And it's hard to pay attention to any singular thing because you feel like your attention is just being pulled in so many places. You notice that a lot of people are moving to this building from some of the other larger buildings off to the right hand side of it. You see coming out of this large building is a very elegantly dressed woman, pale skin, black hair that's very neatly styled into an updo, little silver jewelry pieces hanging off of it. This very nice pale blue silk robe as she comes kind of striding out kind of in the opposite direction as most other people are moving. She seems to be kind of scanning around, looking about. You see her kind of sigh. She just walks off into the distance.
Okay.
Kind of heading away from you.
I think logically I would think that a lot of people would be kind of moving away from whatever had been dangerous, so I would be instinctively, I think I would kind of follow her. And I don't know that I have much of a social filter, so I think I would just go right up and say, "Excuse me, were you looking for something or someone?"
You hear this gasp of surprise as this woman kind of wheels around. I'm sorry. Little on edge right now. Yes, actually, I was out to find a friend. He likes to hide.
You need any help?
I do think I am good, thank you. I appreciate it, though.
Yes, no problem. Do you have any idea what happened? What was that?
That is what we're currently trying to figure out. I've never seen anything like that before, and it was a bit startling, I must say.
Do you know what the flash of light was that seemed to end it for now?
The Oracle, I presume. He uses very powerful magics.
I see. And of course Tonic has no idea who the Oracle is, but there's kind of this instinct of, like, I don't want to appear completely ignorant, just in case. So he's kind of on the fence about whether he should ask about that or not, and he just kind of stays silent and still to the degree of being awkward.
As this, like, awkward silence kind of fills in between you, she glances around. You should probably be getting off home. It's late. It's been an odd day. And to be honest, we still don't really know what's going on. Those things could come back. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure that the Oracle has things under control, as he always does.
Apologies. Thank you for your time. And he, like, turns, like, right away and just, like, runs off.
Oh. As you kind of start to run back off, what else are you looking for?
I just want to see if there's anything else that seems out of the norm. Like, I scan the people and try to get a feel for what might be typical in the situation, and then I want to look for anything that stands out, like people like her that are moving in against the flow of the crowd, or like damage to anything, or people that are acting strangely.
Okay, as you kind of make your way back, you notice that a number of people have kind of gathered at the entryway to the singular building. Any other check, please?
Sorry, you kind of cut out. Did you say perception?
Oh, yes, perception.
It's a little better. 18.
Okay. As you get a little closer to this crowd, just kind of close enough where you can start to pick up on maybe what might be going on, some of the conversations, you hear hushed whispers, people talking like, "Did you see him? There hasn't been. No one's seen the Oracle in months now. Do you think that was him? Do you think there's what do you think's going on?" And there's lots of hushed whispers, lots of speculation happening throughout this crowd. As you watch the crowd gather, they part just a little bit, allowing two more individuals to kind of pass through them, leaving this large building. These two individuals are kind of taller, have sort of feline, sort of canine features. It appears to be a man and a woman. The woman is carrying a small child. The two of them seem to be in conversation with each other as many people are kind of moving away from them, giving little bows of respect with their heads, allowing them to pass through as these two kind of walk by you, not really seeming to give you any notice. You hear one of them say, "I told him something like this was going to happen. Strange things afoot. That's what you get for meddling with things we don't know about." As the man turns back. "Well, he's trying. Although, I don't quite like how secretive he's been lately. He could stand to share a little bit more information, if you ask me. Where do you suppose the others are?" Stops to look around. Stops for a moment. Doesn't really seem to pay any attention to you. Perhaps we should... Oh, where do you think, I suppose we could try the academy first? I'm hoping they'll just show up. You would think that after something like this, they would know that we're expecting them back. So they start to walk off. The conversation fades away, inaudible.
Okay, I think similar to the woman from before, I would kind of keep pace with them and bow like I saw other people bowing. And then I would ask them a similar question. "Excuse me, do you happen to know what that shadow was?"
Oh, none of us do, really. Don't worry. We will figure things out. And the woman kind of adjusts the child on her hip, who's kind of like trying to grab at her hair. Not now. Calm down. Don't worry. We'll figure this out, and we'll be in touch with the people once we get things in order.
I appreciate it. I am rather fleet of foot, it seems. Do you require... It seemed you were searching for someone. I could run a message, perhaps.
Oh, I mean, that would be helpful if we knew where the message was going. We have an associate that could really be useful right about now, but he tends to like to hide for several weeks at a time. And you see this kind of almost like annoyed expression in her face as the other kind of, we've got people out looking for him. I'm sure he'll turn up. But we appreciate the offer.
Understood. Thank you for your time.
They kind of head off towards one of these other larger buildings off to the side.
Okay. Unless I see anything else interesting, I kind of want to trail behind and just see where they go.
Okay. As you kind of fall behind these two individuals, kind of just off at a little bit of a distance, following them to these other sets of buildings. Slightly further across town, located inside a kind of neglected shrine on the very edge of the eastern portion of town. Shimo, as you've kind of been settling in, having dinner with your family, interrupted by the sound of drums, your brothers all kind of glancing up, some of them looking slightly nervous. One of your brothers looking slightly excited as he bolts out the door to try and see what is happening. Your mother, come back here! As she gets up from the table, goes running outside to find him.
Shit! No! As Shimo excitedly stands and runs to the door and standing outside. Mother, did you see where Shet went?
As she goes, she turns to you a few feet ahead of where you are, gives a sigh. Shet, come back here! What is that? And she kind of looks back towards the center of town, towards an area of town where you were not too long ago. And you can see the temple, the academy grounds with this strange kind of almost black fog cloud sort of a thing kind of drifting over the top of it.
Everyone just stay here. I'll go find Shet.
She gives a nod as you walk by, kind of places a hand to the fur of your arm. Be careful, please.
Of course, I will. Puts his hat back on and takes off, running down the trail towards where supposedly his brother may have gone.
Okay. Make me an investigation check, please.
Okay. Let's pull that up. That would be a whole whopping 4.
You start to run down these streets, and you realize that, especially in the rain, you have no way of knowing which direction your brother has gone.
Shimo's still very concerned about what may be happening to a place that he holds dear, a bit of sanctuary to himself. Looks up at the overwhelming loom. Looks around and just observes the people and the looks on their faces and their reaction. And his adrenaline rising with the sound of the drums, he decides he's going to go check it out.
Okay. As you glance around, there are people who have kind of gathered in their doorways, looking at windows, speaking in very hushed whispers of, what do you think that is? Do you see that? This is. Do you think it's coming closer? Should we run? This very sense of kind of fear creeping in as you just go running through the damp streets towards this place where you've studied for some time now. As you start to run across town, moving closer to these temples, all of a sudden a bright flash of light kind of just bursts through the area, and for a second you're left just completely blinded. You feel the rain as your vision just goes white for a second. As it begins to clear again, you glance and you see these little inky black tendrils kind of just dissipating into the air and the wind, falling silent to the rain. You hear a Shimo! As you turn, you see your brother Shet just hiding kind of in a back alleyway, glancing out.
Shet, what are you doing here? This is not safe. Why did you run? Mother told you to stay.
I wanted to see what was going on. And then I saw you running this way, so I thought I'd follow you. And oh, that was very bright. My eyes hurt.
So, I don't see anything good from this. All right. Stay near.
Okay.
Don't let go of my tail.
You feel the kind of damp fingers grab onto the fluffy tail peeking out from underneath your clothes.
Okay, stay close. Let's, and, the curious fox in him just wants to know what is going on. And it just, more cautiously heading forward towards the source of whatever this may be.
Okay. You make your way towards the center of town. It's a pretty good walk from the edge of town where the shrine is back to the academy and the temple. Okay, well, as you kind of reach the center of town, you see people gathered near the temple, some of them still kind of on the other side of the river. Many people kind of speaking in hushed tones to each other.
Shimo just feels a sinking feeling thinking about his peers and especially his master. As he approaches the crowd, he tries to find someone who doesn't seem to be already engaging in conversation to ask what is going on.
There are quite a few people who are just watching on their own that you can find.
Okay. Shimo approaches one, and anyone who looks to be at least adult age, and asks, "Did you see what happened?"
Nearby is a kind of a middle-aged woman. She is an Aarakocra, has kind of little bits of feathers poking out from this very heavy rain cloak that she's got pulled over her head, trying to keep from the rain. I did not get a good look, no, but there were strange things on the buildings, and the guard came in, and then all of a sudden, there was a very, very bright flash of light from the temple, and these weird shapes and smoke or whatever it is just disappeared, and we saw the oracle. He came out for a moment from the temple.
The oracle?
Yes.
Was anyone hurt that you heard of?
I saw them helping some of the soldiers and monks back into the library. I did not see if anyone was gravely injured.
That is good. Oh, thank you. And he's going to kind of move forward and around. He wants to probably check in with his master.
Okay.
Chet, I'm gonna go see Master.
Okay.
I think she may know a little more. Do you think you can go back and protect our family?
I can do that.
Okay. Do it for me, okay?
Okay. And kind of straightens his little coat. He goes walking back into the streets, leaving you to your own devices.
Looks back at him. Okay. And tries to make my way to where I guess I last saw Master.
Okay. You return to the academy. many of the people have kind of moved to the outside. There are some people within the academy walls itself. A couple of injured soldiers being tended to just in the main entrance of the first floor as you walk in. As you do so, you hear a familiar voice. Shimo, is that you? And you turn to see one of your fellow students who is up on the kind of the balcony of the second floor, glancing down. Oh, are you okay?
Ah, yes, yes. Have you seen Master?
The student shakes his head, comes kind of running down the stairs. He is a little bit younger than you are, human, wearing these traditional scholar clothing still. As he comes up to you, no, I was studying and I heard a commotion. There were such strange things happening here. Some of these soldiers started to act really strangely, and their eyes went all purple. And I think the master went home a few hours ago.
So wait, tell me again what happened. The soldiers were not acting as themselves, and their eyes went purple?
Yeah, like really, really bright purple, like they were glowing, and then they started attacking each other. It was very scary. I hid under a table.
Attacking? Is that why the drums?
I'm actually not sure. They started in the library, actually.
Library.
I don't know why they originally started, but maybe the same thing?
Huh. Was there anything else?
That weird black smoke kept... It's like it had little hands or something. It kept trying to reach out and grab people.
Did you touch it?
Oh no. Oh,
good. Yes. That doesn't sound very pleasant.
Oh, it was very scary.
Sure.
I don't know what it was, but I hope I don't ever see that again.
Yes, I'm gonna see if I can find Master, see if they know more.
Kind of nods. You might want to... I think she went back home. You might want to check the houses where, all the scholars live. She might be back there.
Yes, okay. And Shima's gonna work his way out, just observing the different scenery of what he sees. The aftermath of this odd battle. And instead of turning towards the houses where the scholars reside, turns towards the library.
You kind of look around, kind of slip off next door towards the library to do some more investigating. We jump outside of the city walls, unaware of what is going on miles north. Asoya and Kyrie, the two of you have found kind of a little area to seek some refuge from the rain and the storm on this cold night. Asoya, you're still trying to kind of get your bearings, your lungs still feeling like they're a little... almost like they're burning from inside, having been filled with water and the salt. The two of you sitting in the storm, the Soya, the events of the last day or so. You're still not entirely sure. You kind of get the gathering that it was probably earlier this morning, and as you've waited, watching for perhaps anybody else to wash up ashore, anybody from the crew, any signs of life out in the ocean. Hours have passed, the two of you watching, checking the beach, only to come back empty-handed time and time again.
I would like to try to kind of not necessarily fortify our shelter, but find big leaves, put them up so they're like a little roof, and then try to jimmy like a funnel to collect rainwater and to give to Asoya.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a survival check, if you will.
14.
Okay. The leaves out here are smaller. You have to go inland just a little bit more to collect some of these larger leaves. You kind of make a little bit of a roof overhead. You find some little bits of reeds and things like that you can kind of help tie things together with. You find one particularly large, kind of like a banana leaf that you can collect some water in, providing yourselves something to drink, fresh water, still clean from the rain.
I think you need to sit and eat and drink something.
Yes. Do you I'm sorry. I've never met someone who looks like you before. Do you eat fish?
Yes. I eat everything you eat.
Oh, good. I'm going to go out kind of like into the shallows and try to catch a fish. Well, 2 fish. Or a very large fish. Enough fish that would feed both of us.
Okay, go ahead. Let's call this a survival check as well.
Okay. Let's see.
Roll for fish.
Roll to fish. That is a 19.
Okay. Despite the fact that you have had a very trying day, your natural instincts and your skills are still very much on point as
Lots
you
of
head
practice.
out with your swords and just spear a rather large fish. You kind of get out into an area where you can kind of rig like some leftover a rope to one of swords, kind of using it as a projectile weapon to kind of get it out further. About a half an hour later, you return with this large fish in hand. Your now dinner.
Well done.
Oh, I've had a lot of practice. Is fire making one of your particular magic skills, or just healing, or I don't know much about magic, to be honest.
I am not particularly gifted with creating fire from magic, but I am not bad at making fire on my own.
All right.
I'm sure try that.
Between the two of us, I'm sure we can get something going. I'm sorry. I don't have any spices or anything. I'm sure that this fish will be perhaps a bit saltier than normal fish, but
it'll be delicious. I know it. So can I try to help kind of build a little fire? I know it's raining, so it might be hard, but
yeah, if we kind of do it like in the opening, so that it's like still under your little leaf roof, but like is not going to fill our whole little shelter with smoke, we should be fine, I hope.
Yeah, it definitely takes some time to get something most of your normal materials are creative in starting this fire. But after several tries, you do get a small fire going. It's definitely not like the best fire you've ever seen, but it'll do.
It's hot, so that's all
Yeah,
I
you
really
stand
need it
pretty
to
close
be.
to it to get warmed up.
Hey, that works. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You know, my mother always hated my attitude about being in the kitchen, but I guess, you know, in the end, she was right to teach me how to cook a few things. You know, I'm not nearly as good as my father, but I'm, you know, not half bad. My food is palatable at least, which is more than can be said of my brothers at least.
Oh my goodness. How many brothers do you have?
I have a very large biological family, even larger extended family of my, you know, my crew. Uh, but I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters.
That's a number.
Indeed.
That's fair. Wow. Well, you've made it this far.
Yes, I am certain that if my siblings could see me now, they would be quite surprised, to say the least. A long way from home, let's just say that.
You're not from this area?
No, I'm from much farther up the coast, to the northeast. But
Okay.
I've been sailing for about 10 years now, so I've been around mostly the coast, a few of the outlying islands, but geography was never my strong suit, admittedly.
Mine either, but it sounds like you've done a lot of traveling, which is very impressive, and you know, you've seen much more of the world than I have.
True. But I haven't seen. I've only seen a small sliver of it, but what I have seen, there is a lot of beauty in this world, and I hope that I get to see more of it before I die, which it seems I will, thanks to you.
I'm happy that events collided in a way that I could be there for you.
As am I. I would be dead if not for you.
You were close to the shore. Maybe you would have made it, but happy you're
That's
here.
optimistic thinking. That's the spirit. And I sort of slice half of the fish and slide it onto a leaf, and it sort of sizzles because it's still hot, and I hand it out to her. Well, I hope it's good.
I'm sure it will be. Thank you so much.
Of course,
And
it's the least I can do.
And I will eat it happily.
So the two of you eat this dinner of just cooked fish. It's, you know, a little unflavored, but it is food and it is warm in this very wet, rainy landscape. You finish eating, and as the night begins to drag on, both of you go ahead and make me a perception check.
That's cocked. Oh, that's a 6.
19.
Okay.
Yay! You saved
Soya,
us.
you feel like that lull of sleep calling to you. It has been a very long day, and as you now belly full are kind of nodding off a little near this campfire, Kyrie, something on the shoreline catches your eye. Something washing ashore. Large piece of wood, maybe? Person? It's really hard to tell in the dark.
Is Soya already asleep?
I'm nodding off.
Mostly.
I'm going to try to quietly get up and get a little bit closer to see what it is without jostling Asoya too much.
Oh, is everything all right?
I see something. I see something washing up, but I'm not sure what it is.
What does it? What does it look like? A person?
Maybe. I mean, I think if we can go look at it, but slow and steady.
All right, I'll come with you.
Okay.
And I draw one of my kiams over my shoulder and just kind of like, I don't like hold it out in front of me or anything. I just like have it kind of like loosely at the ready in case this thing that has washed ashore is not friendly. I'm a little on edge.
And I'm going to have my spear ready also.
Okay, the two of you make your way from your little shelter across the beach, taking cautious steps, weapons at your side at the ready. As you get a little closer, you see kind of in matted fur what is a tabaxi creature dressed in sailor's garb. Getting a little closer with your eyesight, Asoya, you see somebody who looks familiar. You recognize this individual as a newer, but a member of the crew. This is a young man by the name of Defiant Rain. A tabaxi individual, kind of got this like jaguar style pattern to his fur. Is lying apparently alive, but not really conscious along the shoreline.
As soon as I get close enough to recognize Defiant, I sheathe my kiam over my shoulder and I just run as fast as I can to their side and drop to my knees and sort of like roll them over into my lap. And I look up at Kyrie. Do you have any more of that healing magic? I don't know how that works. I'm sorry. This is one of my crew.
Of course. I'm going to try spare the dying. Just I don't know if, or can I see if they're like at 0 hit points or if they're just unconscious? Or
yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Ooh. 8.
They're breathing.
Okay.
That's about all you can gather.
Hey, that works. Okay, we'll do healing word on that one. That's 4. 7 points of healing to this person.
You extend your hands, kind of whispering this word of almost like a prayer, essentially, of healing, as this light kind of fills this tabaxi's chest. It seems to be glowing from the inside, and all of a sudden, this tabaxi jolts up in your arms, Asoya, coughing and sputtering, and just spewing ocean water. What? Where are we? What? Who? Looks up straight at you. These large, dark eyes, very like dilated in the dark light. A little bit of a yellow rim to them. Isoya?
Yes, it's me. It's me. Are you? I'm sorry. I don't know where we are, but you're safe. This is Kyrie. She saved me. Beyond that, my friend, there's not much I know that I can tell you. What happened?
I just remember the crash. There was a loud sound, and then all of a sudden it got very cold. The water. Oh, I thought I was dead. Are we dead? And he like starts patting things, reaches out, puts like a paw on your face.
No, as far as I can tell, we're alive. If we're dead, this is some sort of weird, identical mimicry of life that is neither heaven nor hell, nor any afterlife of any realm I've ever heard of. So I am fairly certain we're alive. And I turn to Kyrie. Are you alive?
As far as I know.
Checked. Yeah, I'm. As far as I can tell, we're alive.
You're alive. Okay. Okay. That is good. It's a start.
Indeed, and we're together, so that's a start.
Is there anybody else?
Haven't. No, you're the first one. We've only been searching for a few hours. I washed ashore a few hours ago, but we haven't found anyone else.
The ears you see kind of like bend down a little bit as he kind of sits. Oh. We can keep waiting. Maybe more will turn up.
Yes, the fact that you're here is a good sign, I would say. That's two of us now in half a day. So I am feeling slightly more optimistic now.
Maybe there are others on different beaches, islands. I don't recognize this place.
I don't either. And I've been up and down this coast for years, but I haven't come ashore anywhere but harbors mostly, and a few other places that we've been. So I don't know where we are, and unfortunately Kyrie doesn't either. She's been here. How long have you been here?
How long have I been here?
You've probably been out here a couple of days, on and off.
I've been here a couple of days on and off. I know that the city is some miles inland. I've been to the temples there, but I'm entirely more comfortable out this direction. I'm happy to try to help you.
Well, based on what I know of our location, I would wager that Khadesa is likely north of here, and fine. Do you remember the name of that port town? My brain is still all sorts of fuzzy. I'm sure yours is as well. But the port town to the southwest of Khadesa. Do you
the one we were supposed to stop in, or the one that we came from?
The one we were supposed to stop in.
Kinchar.
Yes.
The little fishing village.
Yes. I believe we're likely based on where we were before. Land geography is a little fuzzy in my brain. I'm much better at celestial navigation. But so perhaps once the stars come out, I'll have a better idea of where we are. But I would guess that it's probably northwest-ish of us. Obviously I can't say for certain, but once I get a better grasp on the stars, I would probably have a better idea. But I honestly couldn't say with any certainty where we are.
Your guess is better than mine. I just man cannons. I'm not a navigator, but is that a fire? And he looks up in the distance, your little campfire flickering off at the base of the hills.
Yes, come get warm. Come.
Oh,
yes, and there's a little bit of fish left for you, dear.
oh. As he kind of straightens up, he's trying to wring some of the water out of his fur, kind of nestles up near this fire. Oh, the water is very cold. I don't, for somebody that's not do well with the water, I think I may have picked the wrong profession. I'm reconsidering.
Perhaps, but I have met a surprising number of sailors who either can't swim or don't like water. So you're not alone, at least.
Huh. I'm still reconsidering after that whole I didn't sign up for that.
No, none of us.
I was not
none of
told
us
about
signed up to
flying
be.
sky monsters.
None of us thought to be attacked by giant sky monsters. That's not typically in the job description. I know you're new to this, but I've never seen anything like that, and I'm certain that Captain Aruno has never seen anything like that. I hope he's still alive, but
I hope so too. Maybe we should wait for the storm to pass. Maybe it will wash more people up, but maybe in the morning we can go looking along the other beaches. Maybe somebody has turned up.
Yes, it will also be easier to cover more ground with 3 of us than even with 2 of us. So that I hope will be as successful as we've already been. I didn't want to lose hope, but I'm feeling much better about our chances now that you're alive.
I mean, I thought I was dead, so I'm feeling pretty good about my chances right now. But I hope the same could be said for some of the others.
Indeed.
Did I come here from Khadesa, like just come to visit the beach, or am I closer to my home?
You're probably at like a halfway point, really, kind of at an angle from either direction. So either way.
Okay.
That you would like to spin that.
Where were you all headed?
To Kinshar, and then farther up the coast on the northwest side of the peninsula.
Well, I'm not exactly sure I know where that is, but I know how to get to the city and I know how to get to my home. That's the best I can do.
Both would certainly be helpful. So both would be helpful for certain. If we can get to Khadesa, I can certainly get us to Kinshar. So that's not a concern.
Let's get you all there then.
Agreed.
Are we going now or are we going
now?
No,
you
need to rest.
Yes, I did not want to walk through the rain, but
no.
I mean it is
We're
necessary.
going to search. We're going to search for a few more days.
Good. All right. Well, I'm very tired.
I'm sure.
I will kind of try to help make a tabaxi-sized, or however large individual sized person this is, like sand bed, but have like leaves and things, and try to make something for everybody to be comfortable.
We can take some rocks from next. We can put some rocks next to the fire and heat them up, and then put them under our beds to warm up our beds.
So you guys kind of set up this little camping out in the rain, kind of biding your time as you wait for the storm to pass. Back just outside the city walls, nestled in this little grove of trees through a little passage hidden in the walls, Quinn, you and your new friend, you're still not quite sure what to call him. You find yourself sitting at the side of a little stream that runs through the jungle, as he has procured a little like makeshift fishing pole and has been trying with very little success at catching anything in this stream. He looks to you. I will admit, I usually let the birds do this for me. I'm not very good at it. Maybe you should try.
It's been a few years, but I can... Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Yeah. Takes the rod.
Go ahead and make me a survival check, please.
Oh, I am proficient in those. Let's see here. 8.
You sit there and you wait, continuing to wait. Some more time passes. Maybe we'll leave the fishing to the birds. I don't think either of us are very good at this. I promise I can teach you. Just maybe not fishing.
I understand that. We can't all be good at everything, right?
It is true. At least not right away. That is, I guess, the whole purpose of living and living again and again. Sometimes I think about maybe what I might have done in past lives. I'd like to think I was a good fisherman in some life. Not anymore.
You could have been.
I very much could have been. It's a good thought.
Huh. Can Quinn see any fish in the pond right now?
Make a perception check for me.
Perception. And 18.
Yeah, there are several small little fish working their way through this stream.
Okay, this isn't exactly a traditional way of fishing, but hear me out. And he attempts to cast lightning lure on one of the fish.
Okay. You reach your hand out and kind of calling on this sort of inner spark inside you. You've used this before to varying degrees of success, as Santi watches you very curiously to see what you're doing. Go ahead and just make me an Arcana check, if you will.
Ooh. Okay, here goes. Oh, 18. Wow, what is it with 18s today?
As you kind of channel this spark of kind of this tingle of electricity coursing through your arm and your fingers, a little spark of electricity flies from your fingertips, reaches out into this pond and just yanks the small little fish up into the air as something looks at you, eyes widening. Definitely unconventional, but effective.
You know, I didn't think that would work. I thought it would fry the whole pond, but that... Did it, actually?
No, actually, it seems to have worked very well. There's a little crackle of electricity across part of the surface of the pond as the lightning hits, but you pull this fish out of the pond. It's suspended in the air for just a second until it's like pulled back towards you. It lands flopping on your lap. Well, I have always said that food is a very powerful motivator. Maybe you simply need that to help you learn.
Yeah, I don't think I've eaten all day. It's a good reminder.
I mean, that fish is very small. I don't know if it's going to be very filling for you. Well, if we're doing the sort of unconventional sorts of fishing now, perhaps I might be of a little more assistance as well.
All right.
And he kind of rubs his hands together and kind of holds them out towards the stream, and a very strong gust of wind starts to blow across the stream, and kind of just pick up this large gush of water as water kind of just sprays through the air. Small little fish kind of flop down along the ground near you. I got some.
Well, looks like you have. Good. Okay.
He kind of picks one of these small little fish up, dips it in the water to kind of rinse the little bit of dirt that's accumulated on it off. And you watch as he kind of awkwardly just like sticks it in his mouth and tries to swallow it whole.
Is that how that... Can we do that with these fish? Shouldn't we cook them?
I have never cooked fish before. This way is pretty effective, if you ask me.
Well, if you say so, and he attempts the same thing.
It's kind of like slimy and cold and not the greatest. Go ahead and make me just a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, let's see if that +4 comes in handy. 11.
You tried really hard to put on the brave face and just eat this whole fish, the little tiny fish bones and all. And you try, and all of a sudden you just feel it come back up. You just cannot get this thing down. Oh!
Okay.
He reaches over and kind of awkwardly pats you on the back. Maybe we'll cook that for you. You should fry it again, maybe.
Okay. Alright, he's gonna just hold it in his hands and shock and grasp it.
As this fish just like sizzles in your hands, it starts to smoke. It's not traditionally cooked, but it's not raw anymore.
Oh.
We definitely need to work on the fire thing with you. I think it will be a little better.
Yeah.
Yep.
This isn't ideal.
He kind of stops for a second. You see him kind of like look up into the air. I think I'm being summoned.
By who?
Yeah, the other speakers. Something. Hang on. And he holds up a finger. No, I'm. Do we have to? I'm kind of busy right now. No, I'm just making dinner. And he stops again. Okay, oh, fine. I'm coming back to the city. Just hold your horses. Or foxes, whatever you hold. Just calm down. Oh, they have fires in the city. We can take your fish and cook them there.
Yeah.
I'm apparently summoned to a sort of meeting. Would you like to accompany me for a bit?
To the meeting? In the city?
Technically, you're probably not allowed into the meeting, so it would be more like a wait outside, but back to the city.
Yeah. I don't exactly have any bigger fish to fry at the moment, so...
The little nightingale that's been accompanying you has hopped off your shoulder and has one of these fish in its beak, but this fish is almost as big as this bird is, and he's like trying to drag it across the ground.
Want me to carry that for you?
He looks up, gives a little bit of a nod.
Just take it, put it in a bag.
Collect some of these fish off of the banks. You stand to follow back to the city, and as you approach the little gap in the gates again, Santi kind of pushes this stone piece aside, moves it aside, kind of shakes his shoulders a little bit, and you see kind of this ripple of magic kind of dissipate across him. And in the place of this kind of middle-aged man that you have seen before, you see an Aarakocra, long, skinny neck, long beak, very elegant white feathers with a little plume of black feathers sticking off of the top. Arms kind of have the talons at the end with like the little wings that hang off of them, long, elegant legs. Very much looks like human-esque figures and posture merged with a crane, as he kind of glances around. Not human. Kind of nods.
I kind of figured with the whole fish thing.
Oh, yes. That was probably... Okay, let's go. As he kind of awkwardly starts to step into the city, walking several streets down the edge of a street, you see a woman, pale skin, dark hair, light blue silk robes, as she looks. Santi, we've been looking all over for you. Where were you hiding this time? As he... Nowhere. She looks at him, kind of raises an eyebrow, looks at you, Quinn. And you found friends. Okay. He can't come in, you know. And he looks... well, I know, but he's got some fish that he needs to cook. So he's just going to wait and do that. Let's go. As she starts to walk off, she turns back towards both of you. You know, I met a new friend today, too. He's a musician, plays very, very lovely music. Do you play music? She turns to you, Quinn.
I'm afraid not.
He catches fish with lightning.
Apparently I can do that.
Slows just slightly. That's an interesting use for it, but I'm a fan of creative ways.
Not very good with a regular fishing pole, it seems. So I take what I get.
Well, as long as it works, I guess. Not really a big deal. As you kind of cross the river that runs through Khadesa, going across the bridge towards the main entry of the temple, people kind of part. There's still a decent number of people kind of gathered in the main entry of the temple itself. The crowd kind of parts to let people through, recognizing Santhi and this woman. As you make your way across the temple grounds to the inner courtyard, where a smaller building is kind of tucked into some very luscious gardens, you see a couple of people waiting outside. A tiefling woman, large pole arm, wearing armor, a smaller kind of child-looking individual. He looks very, very young for somebody to be there. An older fire Ganassi man who is dressed in very elegant deep red crimson silks. And as you kind of approach these other gathered figures, the older Ganassi glances up. Oh, almost all here then. A few more. Looks around. Oh, and more new friends. Great. Looks to you, Quinn. You can hang out with this older, younger, I'm not sure what he is, friend here, as he points down to this smaller, like, child-sized, kind of old man-looking individual that you've never seen before. As you kind of gather at the front of this chamber. Entering the chamber, the fire Genasi enters in, followed by this pale woman in the blue silks. Santhi kind of, you can cook your, well, maybe not in the temple, but there's other buildings nearby, should you. I'm going inside now. As kind of like awkwardly walks inside after the others. As the doors kind of close, you're left there with some of these other individuals and kind of glancing around the area. Shimo, you head off to the library. As you walk inside the large library doors, the lanterns lit again. There are some monks who are kind of organizing things, trying to clean things back up. A little bit of a scattered commotion going on here. You look inside, you see a number of individuals mostly gathered up the stairs. And as you are kind of taking in your surroundings inside the library, Tonic, not too far from the library, you are following these two individuals who have entered the library as well, taking a look around. And outside the city, Kyrie, Asoya, the two of you with your rescued crewmate, Defiant, you kind of settle in for the night. And that is where we will continue our story next time. Thank you guys so much for joining us again for Chapter 4. We will be back next week as some of our players start to unravel the mysteries of what this mysterious presence is and what is going on. As always, you can follow our players by following the socials on their screens that you see right now. Give us a follow on social media so you can stay up to date. Lots of changes coming down the road. Thanks so much for joining us as always, and we will see you next week.